All right, call the meeting to order, and may I have an approval for the draft minutes from January 28th, please?
So moved.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Financial reports.
Okay, I'm getting mine out, sorry. All right, due to that technical glitch, which delayed us a little bit.
There's a safety light in the back.
Yeah,
That's why
so,
the plane stayed in the tarmac.
yeah, it's now rectified. Okay, so, treasurer's reports, I don't really have anything to add, but I will answer any questions. On the, loan reports, number 4, Scott mentioned to me, they just pay in chunks. It's annoying, but I'm not worried about it at all. 6 just due for this month. 7 and 8, you know, that's 8 months. And then there's also down at the bottom under there that they're carrying a balance, but you know, hopefully today's presentation helped everybody's understanding of that. Number 13, made 2 payments this week, is current. 16, I don't have any news there. Jim or Evan, do you? No, we're
No.
still in that legal morass. 17 is current. Night.
Well, and as far as 16 goes, I would just like to remind, he is making payments. still.
Yes, he is making
Got
payments.
a past due, but he's making payments.
How's a prospective buyer coming to that?
Still on hold, but
Finding
he's
a
impatient. You know, luckily, they haven't been able to find another location that they liked. And they were looking as far out as Tioga County, because they gave me a call to ask me questions about what was going on.
holdup?
Estate affairs. Yeah, number 19, they are paying a reduced amount on a monthly basis, but they are carrying a balance. It is being marketed for sale. No real update on that, but they were gonna get to a price drop at some point soon, right?
If they didn't already.
Yeah. 23, that's just a seasonal delay. That'll come back in, you know, very shortly. Switching over to the LDC number 10. Evan, that's your.
Yep, fell behind.
Oh,
It's 23. Are they okay with their zoning issues?
yes, they are potentially interested in a relocation to another part of the county. I've talked to them briefly, but not in depth.
More to come.
Yes.
Okay.
As an intent, stay close to that. I hear not good things.
There's some things going on. It's not lack of business. First of all, food, you know, I don't know what you're, but yeah, food prices are rough. But also, there were a lot of problems with the building that were unforeseen. I just met with him because of this. So he's back to making payments. He's gonna make this up between 3 or 4 payments.
Yeah, but there's the account closing issue. I think that's probably what Scott read about.
He's behind in us.
The bank account.
Big
closed.
account payables, 2 food vendors that I know have cut them off.
Oh, okay.
Still doing business with
Right.
one, but I don't know if he's keeping that one current or not.
Mhm.
But I know 2 have been cut off. One was 13 grand, the other was 27 grand maybe.
Mhm.
That's quite a bit of account payable for food.
Yep. And, you know, yeah, the cash flow issues stem from building improvements, which is, you know, good for us, kind of. Yeah, that's the biggest thing. When we get to, you know, an OCR, that's, you know, I'll discuss that. Yeah,
Okay.
yes,
All
I am keeping a close eye. And by the way, his other business that did close down, reopened as something else. He says that's going really well. A very prime cost low type of business. It's
Okay.
pretty good.
So I'd heard it opened several other restaurant locations as well.
not several. It's a franchise, he franchised it, which is interesting in case it, because he says the business is good, that other people might want to, so,
This place in Norwich, you mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
The Tex-Mex or whatever.
Yeah. And the contract for sale of his original business, kind of getting held up just by some terms he doesn't like. The price is fine, but he doesn't like, they really want him to hold a lot of paper. And he doesn't really like that because it gives away a lot of
Control and.
intellectual property, kind of, contracts and everything.
Just be careful there.
Okay.
I think it sounds smoother than it really is.
Yep.
Lots of different directions. I like walking the dog and there's a squirrel and a chipmunk and a rabbit and lots of distraction.
Is he back online with those suppliers or no? No.
No.
Okay, number 12, just due for this month, and we've talked about them before. Number 14, typical, number 29 is typical, they just pay towards the end. 38.
Yeah, like we said, we've reached out with questions. He got back to us, not really answering the questions. We reached back out. I told him that was not satisfactory. We have a lot more questions, kind of leading into the COVID shutdown. But there are other things on, there was collateral that was never accounted for, which is big. He says his lawyer says that if anything, he only owes, 28,000 of that. I just don't think so.
Any lawyer can say anything on behalf of the client. It doesn't make it right.
Yeah. And I mean, at the very least, if we were having a good day, we would ask for the cost of both collaterals that were, promised toward us in agreement.
Yeah.
At the very least, that would be, 40,000.
Yeah.
Did he sell them?
Yeah.
He sold one.
Sold one, and the other one, that's our questions that he's not answering.
Is what happened to the other one?
Yeah.
Then he's in default of our agreement.
Right.
Oh, yeah, he's in clear default. Yes.
Yeah,
So at what point do we hand this off to an attorney?
I guess, it's a
Today.
question for you.
Now.
That might be a little late.
He's already lawyered up, so
Yeah.
we need to get one too.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay,
You okay with that?
absolutely.
Okay.
Um,
46.
46. So the owner there and we share attorneys and she, they are still working out terms of a closing. So.
I heard the other night, then when I had my meeting with our neighbors, I heard that had fallen through.
That's disappointing.
Well, we'll be talking to her anyway regarding
Yep.
38, so we'll bring up 46 as well.
Okay.
And that was all I had unless there were questions. I know that's a quick run through, but just.
Any other questions? No, thank you, Glenn. Can I have a motion to accept the financials? Second,
Second.
any other discussion?
Yeah.
Whoa, you got that in a minute? Underline that.
All in favor?
That'll be in bold in the minutes.
I had to go out and talk myself into
I forgot the invoices, sorry. I'm bopping around here on the agenda. I need a motion to pay the bills.
it.
Second.
Discussion, all in favor? Okay. Sewer Works Corp.
Okay, just a report since you guys are the shareholders. Florida, I'll get back to you. We need to schedule a meeting for the end of this quarter to discuss some things. We've had a series of breaks over the winter, again, 4 of them. We're in the middle of a fix, which the IDA board did agree to assume responsibility for. Where we're at now, it's engineered, it went out to the contractor. My calls earlier, and then when I stepped out, and then I have to have another one later, is just making sure they're on top of the final spec to get that done. And into the ground, literally, and schedule a date for that. Interestingly, on the Sewer Works Corporation side, we have not, the Sewer Works Corporation has not received payment from the two industries. So we're about $26,000 in debt right now, which is growing, because two of the repairs haven't been billed for yet. But yeah, the industries basically they've got what they wanted, and so now they've gone silent a little bit. They have made good on past due. One of them is fully current. You would have noticed from the sheet I skipped over on the treasurer's report that one of the industries has caught up all past due payments with the IDA. One has some remaining. Yeah.
So in terms of paying bills and getting approvals to do all that, does that need to come to the IDA and we look at treasury reports for that?
No,
What do
nope,
we
that's
need
what
to do?
Sewer Works Corporation.
And this,
Yep.
because of the ownership of that, there's no flow up to the IDA.
Oh, I mean, I can give you financial
I don't
reports
know what
if you
you
want.
need to
Yeah,
do.
I mean, right now it's negative.
We need to know that because we're on the hook essentially.
Good.
I don't know. I'm just asking the question because I'm not sure of the answer.
Yeah.
I know you're never supposed to do that.
I still think that somehow we gotta break this log jam. Because we're just being used.
Yeah,
They-
yeah,
they-
if we were at a point previously where the only way this log jam breaks though is we've got to put our feet in the ground and say we're gonna shut it off. And if we're not willing to say that, then nothing.
This is just gonna continue.
Right.
And they're trying to stall this by saying that they're gonna study building their own direct discharge plant. And that's gonna take 3 years in their mind. So we're gonna live with this for 3 more years. You're gonna get called out, and then Evan's gonna get called out every however many days to fix another leak.
Mhm.
And, you
Next
know.
one's Evans, by the way, I did the last one.
No, I did the last one.
That scheduled one doesn't count. When you get a call on Sunday night,
Yeah.
yeah,
There we go.
that counts as 2.
Yeah.
Double time on
No.
Saturday.
Yeah,
Double time on Sundays, huh?
Yeah.
Not time and a half. So, I mean, at some point, we gotta get serious about digging in our heels and, you know. I just wonder how long is DEC gonna allow this to go on with these continuous breaks?
the people we were dealing with have moved up. So they're not dealing with it on a day-to-day basis. So now we're with new people and it hasn't risen to their radar yet.
They
So what
don't-
happens if we shut it down?
What's that?
What happens if we shut it down?
Right now, nothing. We have no user agreements with the industries and we have no obligation.
Has the village started their study yet?
No. Okay, so there's a lot going on. That is actually positive. So the village is studying their wastewater treatment needs. They will shortly be. They received a grant through the county ARPA funds, 47 and change, I believe, to conduct a study to see what their needs are. That will begin as soon as the contract is written by the county attorney, which is in some place. We did have a meeting with the CWC this week. It was on a different issue, but we quickly transitioned into this issue and, their usefulness in this is limited, but they will be represent us to, you keep mentioning that you believe DEP should pay a part of this. We're gonna need support to make that happen. And we talked about ways that CWC would help us gain that support. So it was positive in that sense. So there are things that are moving forward. We just need to, get back to this issue. Yeah. That's it.
So if we send them a notice saying we're shutting down as of March 30th, what happens?
They would throw a fit, but yeah.
They'd have to lay their staff off and cease operation until they could figure it out.
Yeah.
How many employees? Each one?
Saputo's 20 to 30-ish. Friesland's roughly 140.
Okay.
They have holding tanks for when the pipe breaks.
Friesland Campina has a 600,000 gallon holding tank.
But if they shut down, how much would they lose per day?
A lot,
So, I mean, that probably would be an option.
yes. More than they owe me.
Right.
Right, so if we give them a 2-week notice, because we're good business people and good neighbors, maybe they'll be more motivated to do the right thing.
Right. So here's the thing. I think that needs to come from the Sewer Works Corporation.
Yeah.
If the Sewer Works Corporation says that, is the IDA going to stand behind the Sewer Works Corporation? Because you guys are the shareholders.
Right.
Because they'll be like, all right, fine, we're not dealing with you, Glenn. We're going to go to the IDA.
And as an alternative, if we just give it to the village of Delhi, who's got the wastewater treatment plant, and say, it's yours now, best of luck. They won't.
They won't take it, and they have no obligation to take it because it's outside the village limits.
And,
We're in a chicken
and
game.
Kevin doesn't feel there's any,
I haven't spoke to Kevin in 2 weeks, and that's my bad. Kevin's thought then is, last I spoke to him, we had just gotten notice from the bank that we had received, they pay electronically now, Friesland Campina does. We received notice that we got we should expect electronic payment. So it must have been initiated and the bank contacted us. So we're like, okay, we're getting paid. And that happened to be the day I was talking to Kevin. I'm like, okay, we just got this notice. I think we're going to get paid. He's like, okay, let's not make a big deal out of this until if you're in the process of getting paid, let's not make a big deal out of this until you get paid. Well, it was for November's payment to the IDA, not the Sewer Works Corporation. And so it was kind of threw us off a little bit. And I've got to revisit that issue with Kevin, is that, hey, they still haven't paid.
Kevin's our attorney, right?
Yes, Kevin, yeah.
because I still think that, and that there's some merit of having Kevin try and get DEC to step in here.
And give us a drop dead date that we then push to them.
Have DEC give them the drop dead date.
Okay.
And
Can
then
that
we
be
can go to work.
orchestrated?
Hmm?
Can we get that orchestrated?
Kevin has been hesitant to do that because his rationale is once you invite him in, you can't invite him to leave.
Right. The house guest that never goes away.
I understand that, but the alternative is we're gonna sit here with our hand on our butt.
Give them 45 days to pay. That's the end of April.
Is there something they have to sign on to go forward with this?
Yes, they have draft user agreements before them. And we haven't heard anything on that.
And their game is
In a
that they're
month.
gonna wait 3 years to study whatever they're gonna study.
And they're gonna push it off as long as they can.
Sure.
Can we say
Right.
to them, and I guess this is probably a question for Kevin. You have until the end of April, and at that point, if you haven't responded, and if you haven't cleaned up these back bills with us, we're going to request the DEC step in and resolve this situation.
Yep, yeah, I'll call Kevin today. Yeah,
Because how many years have you been screwing around with this?
more than I want to
Your
mention.
career's been what, 30 years? So it's been 31?
I'll be on a second pair of boots.
Yeah. I do have better boots now.
Yeah, they're hip waders.
That's why you don't have a county car anymore, because you left your boots in there.
It seems like we should be able to tell them to sign the deal. And if you want to study something else for the next 3 years, help
Right,
yourself.
that's the idea, that this
You
user,
could always
what they
get
have
off of this
now
deal if you
is
want.
interim user
Do
agreement.
something else later,
Yes.
If
but
you
you
don't
gotta
want
sign
to
this one.
sign.
or we gotta take it on.
Yeah,
the
see, they don't,
I agree with Jim, we've been used on this for
forever.
longer than I want to remember.
Yeah. And the pipeline's been in the ground for 20 years.
But they're there.
Yeah.
And they're still working, so.
Okay, so that was that.
Thanks.
Yeah.
9 Winkler Road.
Yep, so
Oh, yeah.
where we are with that is, oh yeah, no, we did have.
9
under-
Meredith, I
Yeah,
misread.
but no, but under A,
My glasses suck.
we had that contractual arrangement that we talked about, and we need a resolution for that.
So you would need
Okay.
a motion to accept the purchase offer as it's written.
30,
Except the
Except the escrow to be held by our attorney.
property purchase term sheet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, and we want that before, okay.
Yeah.
I'll move.
Second.
any other discussion? All in favor? Thank
Aye.
you.
Nightmare, basically where we're at with that, we know what happened there. We're going forward in our new direction, working on a site plan. Basically where we are with that is I just today received what we'll be able to use to start sketching out a draft site plan per the property owners, future property owners' planned use of the property. Then we're gonna take that. I've got somebody at the college I want to approach about having their students do a landscaping plan for it to address all of our concerns. Then, once we have that figured out, we'll take it to somebody to turn it into a pretty little site plan. But I've met with the future owner, however we want to say it. He's on board with everything that we've requested. But no action at that yet.
Nope.
8 Winkler Road projects. So electric is done. We're now being able to get the readings so we can separate we will be able to estimate more accurately the usage of each of the tenants so that we can better separate it for bills. The project's been completed and installed, right?
Yep.
And now we're just, now we start, Evan is gonna be our meter reader on a monthly basis. And, yeah,
Put a trail cam there, so you just don't have to drive over there and do that. You just
That's a
can
good
see
idea.
it.
A ring doorbell, you
Right.
know?
Right?
yeah. Oh, we do have if he's not going there, we do have somebody who can read it. Jason goes there once a week to
Right.
Sydney anyway, so, yeah.
Send the
We'll figure
mayor
that out.
over.
Yeah, oh, yeah. I've got the mayor.
Okay,
I mean, dock bumpers, plumbing stuff, plumbing.
Oh, the dock bumpers, yeah.
Now, so we replaced some dock bumpers for the loading dock on. Huff's
We
side of the-
repaired, didn't we?
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, we replaced the bumpers. We didn't replace, the whole dock loading plate, dock plate. Yeah, we put the bumpers on there because we fixed it twice. And so now we just need new bumpers. We should be done fixing it. And he did go there and install it.
2 weeks ago?
Yeah,
Something
so
like
a week
that.
ago, it wasn't much. I think it was under 1,000.
Yeah, yeah, there was a small leak in the bathroom, which we're taking care of as well.
Yeah.
Just typical property maintenance stuff, but we're moving forward. D, other than what we had to discuss in confidentiality, nothing new there. We'll move forward. I had nothing on E.
There's really nothing new yet.
Yeah. Other than just we are going to move forward with a development plan. And that's, a couple non-scripted items. Motel RFP, the IDA had agreed to fund feasibility, marketing and feasibility study for a hotel project in Delhi up to $25,000. I had a meeting this week. We received 3 proposals. And we have selected one, Pinnacle Advisory Group. It was actually a unanimous choice. The actual meeting part of the meeting lasted less than 5 minutes. It was 24,500. And they will complete it by the end of June. Yeah, so they're gonna jump right in and move it. This company has been very active with me in terms of updates, so they seem very hungry and want to, and they are a big and large company. I can provide you guys with, so do you guys want to see all of the proposals, the one proposal? Do I have the authority to enter into a contract with them since the IDA has agreed to pay?
I think we should make a motion for you to have the authority to enter into contract with them.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
There was a request from the Chamber of Commerce to support a job and career fair to be held at the NCOC campus, which is the one up in Grand Gorge, with ONC BOCES. They've requested that the IDA provide a sponsorship for up to $1,500.
IDA is the right spot for that money to come from, or do you have an OET bucket that?
OET doesn't have a bucket for it.
Okay.
I could try to figure out a way to put some under my county budget.
Could be tourism.
Well, it could be future development, right, Ted? You're okay with that? Yeah.
Tab, the
She's gonna
gatekeeper,
tell you no.
the keeper of the funds.
I was getting a little nervous when he replaced those pads, instead of just repairing.
We try to get all the life out of them.
Yeah.
Turn them over 3 times.
Yeah.
Okay, we have a motion to do the trade show.
So.
For how much? You let me know what you're
Up to
interested.
1,500. Yeah.
Okay, find another source. You want to split it with economic development? Okay, $750 each. Okay.
I'll second
All in favor?
it.
Aye.
Opposed, thank you. Any other old or new business?
Just on the new business side, the Chamber of Commerce thing, I think they're running this class again, that used to be Leadership Delaware, now it's Leaderful, must be woke or something. And we took 3 scholarships on this thing a couple of years ago. I think they're $300 a piece, and I was wondering if we could take 3 this time to support that program. And maybe somebody can figure out, I think one went to Walton last time and maybe one to Sydney. So we could put somebody into the program. The last one we put into the program and paid her way was Jennifer Ackley. That worked out very well for us. So
What's the cost of it? Is it
$300.
I'll make a motion.
Okay, second,
You need a motion for that?
yeah,
Yeah, I made.
Bruce, second. Any other discussion? All in favor?
All right.
Opposed? Thank you.
I have two items. One, Bob Biddy is showing interest in the land down in Walton, but we have a couple other people that are interested, so I'll tell him that we have some other people on the table right now and that he'll be on the back burner.
I don't think we necessarily have a difference between a front burner and a back burner at this point in time. What I'd like to do is if he's interested, let's just create a list of people who are interested, how much they'd like, no promises,
Okay.
nothing saying, oh, don't start getting your contractors lined up because we still have a process to go through. But yeah, sure, have them contact me.
Okay.
Are we gonna have an outside person doing the development plan for,
Yeah, that's the idea.
and would we be able to kind of hand him a list of prospective, projects?
What I'm looking for is for him to, yes, if we have a list of projects, be like, okay, here's some ideas. How best do we carve up this property to best meet future needs? We've got projects ranging from large to small.
Okay, and then the other issue, Watershed Affairs approached me. They're having a problem with the septic haulers.
Yes,
And they're looking for someone to fund a study to find out the capacity of all the other sewer plants in the county. Right now, Margaretville accepts it, the DEP runs that, and they cut them back to 1/3 of what they had been. So now they have to haul it to Albany.
yes.
So my personal opinion after sitting and thinking about this is maybe something CWC should fund.
Jason and I discussed this very briefly. When I met with him this week, Jason Merwin, he's the new executive director of CWC. He and I discussed this very briefly. He has some things he's wanting to do. I told him, we would be there as a resource for him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because if the other ones have capacity, we'll take it to the county.
Right, yeah, so that's what they're looking for is determining which facilities in the county have not just the capacity, but the capability of handling it, because apparently with this stuff, you don't just, open up the hose and shoot it into the pit. Because it's just of such a higher constant. I don't want to get into too gross stuff, but hey, it's what I do half my time anyway. You don't just shoot it into the pit or the intake, it's got to be diluted in special ways because it's all highly concentrated at the point when it's on the truck. So he's looking at determining which places have capacity, what places would need to be upgraded to be able to handle the receiving of this. There might be CWC money to help them with that. The carrot to the municipality is it's a revenue stream. If they're paying all the work for upgrading their facility to be able to accept it, by upgrading, I don't mean increasing capacity. I mean, basically having a spot to dump the waste into. That's-
You're talking about Margaretville has a problem.
Well,
DEP owned facilities used to accept roughly 73,000 gallons per day. They've cut that down to 27,000 gallons per day at the budget committee. Yeah,
And only a couple days a week.
yes.
You got capacity?
Might have capacity.
Yeah.
The thing that looks like a college campus up there on Route 28 or whatever it is. That's the DEP.
It's not a
facility.
capacity issue. This is
Yeah. I get
this is
that.
an internal battle within DEP.
Yeah, somebody's in charge of something.
And where the haulers,
Okay.
and by extension, the people who need to have their stuff hauled are bearing the brunt of it.
So
But
he just,
And
sorry to ask, it's just who are we hauling from?
So it's like if you have a DEP repaired septic system, you agree to a certain maintenance schedule
Yeah.
where you'll have a pump out. So
Okay,
it's
it could
all
be a
these
farm,
pump
could be
outs.
a house.
Yep, yeah,
Okay.
it's all
No, I
residential.
just,
But
Yeah.
CWC,
Residential, very small amount of commercial.
CWC pays for those pump outs.
They reimburse you, I think.
Well,
There's a portion
yeah.
that they pay up to an
Right.
amount, and I think there is
right,
a cost share with the
but there's
landowner.
some
This would
funding,
increase their cost
Right.
share.
but there's some funding coming from them already.
Yes,
So,
But they're also requiring it. As part of being part of. the
No, I
septic
understand.
program, You're,
so therefore, I agree with Bruce that they should be writing the check for this.
the city should be paying. They're the ones that put, stop and something there that they require.
the bureaucracy amazes me. I mean, can you imagine the safety issue of just putting this stuff on the road and sending it to the city?
well, that's what, yeah, well, our conversation
Around the
is,
reservoir.
you know, look, the septic repair, program has had a great impact in the area. From a certain point of view, from a water quality standpoint, it certainly has. It's fixed a ton of failing septic systems that otherwise got into there. And the conversation I had with Jason is, look, if you're not providing a cost feasible way for homeowners to maintain their systems, then you're gonna be back where you were 30 years ago, where everybody's gonna be like, yep, it's full, but I can't afford that. So we're gonna let the grass grow in that area and just forget about it. And he's very cognizant of that and he's trying to come up with a solution.
Yeah.
So how much are you looking at per day? Or what are you looking at?
I'm not ready to give numbers like that, but yeah, but
We
they are
might
gonna
have
be contacting all the wastewater treatment plants in the area. That was one thing Jason said they were
Yeah,
working
we're
on.
taking most of the stuff, ammonia, et cetera, because they don't have the capacity to do it. We're in a process of upgrading our facility.
Mhm.
$2 million project.
Make the checks out, they handy.
No, you want all payments in cash?
To me,
Small bills.
Yes, I will mention that to Jason if you don't mind, that
That's fine.
you might be a willing.
yeah. and I'll
Recipient.
mention it to our department head at the wastewater.
Okay.
Any other old or new business? Okay, can I have a motion to adjourn, please? Okay, a second. We'll open the LDC meeting and I need approval of the minutes.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We have to open the meeting twice. Sorry about that on the agenda.
I need approval on the financial treasure or financial report, the loan report and the invoices.
In for a penny, in for a pound.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
CARES Act proposal.
Yeah,
What this
we're
is.
just, at this point, we're just handing it out for your information. Basically, we, New York State Office of Community Renewal has a bunch of CARES Act money they're looking to put out on the street. We've talked about this before, doing a bifurcated project where we do some COVID loss income relief to businesses that weren't eligible for it. I'll just give one example. There was a business actually here in town that made substantial investments in their business in 19. So they showed a loss in 19 that disqualified them from a bunch of the programs. So a small portion of the funding that we would seek to request would go towards that. The rest would go towards businesses that are expanding as a result of COVID, that their business has changed or been impacted in some way, very loosely tied as far as we're concerned, to COVID. And that is going to result in job creation. OCR has loosened up a lot of their guidelines in terms of job creation, investment, percentage of project you're able to do. We had originally talked to them about requesting $2 million. They thought that was a little high, so we tried to cut down to 1.75, and they're like, no, you're just not getting it. So Evan had just a very quick online survey that we did to businesses. We came up with, I forget the numbers, how many projects?
37 projects, 1.8 million.
Yeah, 1.8 million of funding and 7.9 million of investment, 87 new jobs. So right now, we're still going back and forth with them about what an amount that they would be comfortable with us receiving would be. Part of their concern is that this is a mountain of work and we only have 1 year to do it. But I think we can handle it. So we're gonna end up applying for somewhere between 1.75 and 1.25 million dollars. I think that's where I would want to be. And we've got the projects to justify it. And this is not comprehensive. This was just people who, responded to a survey that was out there maybe 10 days.
Yeah.
There's people that maybe not all these projects will come to fruition, but we know that there's a lot more out there. So that's just an FYI.
Some of these are really nice.
There's some interesting ones in here.
They run the gamut. There's large ones down to small ones and
Wow.
If CNAs is on there, did they ever pay their back taxes or something? Weren't they, the IRS or somebody was after them for money in loan?
yeah. They're working it out. Payment plan.
Ours?
What?
What?
CNA's place.
Yeah, that's getting worked out. And that's it, yeah.
Did you see the green lights, man? They were cool. Your thing wouldn't accept my email. I had a video. I was sitting in there and the green lights are going around the thing and they're flashing like this. And I sent you an email says, they said it was Evan's idea to put these up. Your thing kicks it back. Oh, this file's too large.
So there's a lot of potential projects out there.
Yeah, when the.
Oh yeah, he's on the list. Yeah,
It's good.
I've already talked to him about one option. CC is coming out with the program because they've got on both sides, the farm and the business. So I've told them, go for that on the farm side, come to me for the other side. And I've been after him to get me some numbers.
Oh, so Scott, here's the next big thing.
Right. Big thing.
Yeah, oh yeah, I meant to say that. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the next big thing? Here's the next big thing.
Speaking of CARES Act funding, when they upgrade the computer system, can you get more capacity on your email?
No,
Really?
nope,
This one for.
Then,
that, I agree.
then
Not everything that got approved on that committee was of my liking.
should we figure out a way to work around it and get a special email address that we can use?
I don't know, that's become more and more difficult to get around. I don't think we can get around their system anymore, right? We've tried everything we could do. Yeah, it's pretty much everything has to go through them.
But they've got it so restricted that it's the size of the emails that just won't come through.
That's why we're trying to use the Google Drives. So that's the best thing is if you ever have something you want to send us that's too large, drop it in the IDA Google Drive and just shoot us an email that something's there. That's how we just have to handle it now.
Wow.
Yeah.
There's actually, Brophy's estate's got 72 rooms over there somewhere.
It's huge. I learned about it a little while ago, but I was surprised. I hadn't heard of it before, but Do we want to do any kind of resolution in hand, to have something in hand for that OCR?
Oh, if and when we move forward with the proposal, would the IDA board issue a letter of support, right? That's all we'd be looking for.
Well,
Oh, LDC. Oh, yeah, okay. Would the LDC agree to be the subrecipient for this funding? So basically, it has to be a municipal applicant. So the county would be the applicant. But typically, the LDC handles all the money side of things and the grant implementation on behalf of recipients under the OCR program. Would you guys, like we're doing with the Hidden, like we did with the Hollow and, you know, yeah.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Where is
Okay.
the Ponds Restaurant?
It's Meredith, Max Brew Tavern. Have you been there?
No,
You should stop in. It's off the beaten path, but it's nice.
I'm thinking of going to the movies again. This movie thing in Hancock's gonna get a liquor license. I mean,
Yeah.
That movie will
it's
be.
gonna be the
better.
bouncer at the movies.
You looking for work?
There you go. Glenn, you want to?
Train to work. I reviewed my numbers. I'm not sure where I wrote it down. Oh, here it is. Okay, so Train to Work, that is our local on-the-job training program. So just a brief update on that. We have 350,000 for the project. 300,000 goes towards the actual implementation, the training dollars, the reimbursements. We had 50 held back for professional services, admin related. We're ultimately gonna switch more over to the implementation side because our management side is coming in way lower than I thought it would. But anyway, we've done we've got 17 contracts either signed or committed for a total of 73,700. So we're a little bit over 20% of our funding, so we still have 226,000 remaining. We're typically getting about 3 new signups a week. So it's going well, but there's a lot of money still available. So if you know of any businesses that are currently or will in the future be hiring people, have them contact us.
Could we use that when we hired a new village clerk treasurer?
For-profit businesses only.
Oh.
Sorry.
I tried.
I don't know the way here you run that table over there, profits not a 4-letter word. Cranking all the time.
But yeah, it's been very popular. You know, we could use a little bit more time to publicize it and get the word out, but everybody who hears about it signs up for it. So, and you know, we do have a pretty good turnaround time. We're writing contracts within 3 to 5 days of being contracted. So,
Perfect.
you know, that side of it, we've got down pat.
Good stuff. Okay. Any other old and new business for the LDC?
Just a micro loan update, but that would be executive session anyway, so maybe we'll wait to close meeting.
Yeah, well, yeah, we'll talk about that through the micro committee in the future.
All right, motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you very much.
All right, guys, see you in April.
Thank you
Okay,
for
thank you.
the